gonna do? An opening number. What was the opening number? Sir, I wanna eat some food. You see, it's breakfast time, but I haven't made a bit in quite a while, and I think this TBR will make you smile, and I wanna get this shit done before it's Christmas time. That doesn't make any. This is horrible. Hi everyone, I'm Josh. Welcome to my December TBR. I don't know why I'm congested. Every time I wake up in the morning here, I seem to be congested. But in any case, I'm so excited beginning to eat before the middle of the month my TBR for December. I have a, let's be honest, it's an unrealistic TBR, but it's currently December and I have, I think, 87 books out of my 100 that I want to read. My TBR consists of 14 books, but I'm actually doing really well. I'm in Perth, Australia now. I have a routine. I am having to commute a lot for work, which means I have a lot of time for reading. So I'm really hopeful this month that I'll actually manage to maybe meet my goal. What I will say is that I didn't pick a bunch of short books just so I could say I read 100 books. For me, that's not satisfying. I picked the top 14 books that I most wanted to read, regardless of how long they are, which may or may not be practical, but we can do our best. So I have here a mishmash of books. Generally, for the last couple of years, I've been treating December as a chance to sort of just relax and read books that are comforting to me. And I am trying to stick to that sort of approach where I give myself December to sort of relax in my reading goals. But let's be realistic. I've been kind of relaxed in my reading goals all year long and didn't even have goals this year. That's how relaxed I've been. I'm hoping this next year will be better. I want to be more pointed in my reading like I was my first couple of years, I guess, than I was this year. With all that said, all that unnecessary preamble nobody wants to hear, let's get into my TBR. So let's start with 3 books that I've considered just, books I really am been eager to read but haven't been reading them. First, I was in Midnight Library. It's a book about a woman who I believe is contemplating or getting near suicide. And we're basically looking at the memories of her life. It is a dark existential book from what I understand. And I'm actually really intrigued by that premise. I love dark takes that just sort of give us this broad scope look at life and make us really consider our choices and what our life means. And so I'm actually really excited for this book. The reason why I'm putting it on here though is because I've been waiting for it from Libby for the longest time. Another one that I've been excited to read is Fugitive Telemetry, book 6 of the Murderbot Diaries. I will tell you why I actually already read it. It was really short and fun, but I wanted to get to it this month, so it's on this TBR. And then lastly, the book that I would say I just really want to read, I would say The Cabinet in the World. I've already read this one, so it's kind of a stretch for this category, but this is a book about, what is the synopsis of this book that doesn't spoil it? This family is at a cabin in the woods, and these people show up, and they're part of a cult, and they say certain things have to happen, or the world's going to end. Is it true what they're saying, or is it not? Because whether it's true or not, we have these people who may or may not be willing to do some pretty extreme things. I liked this book, didn't love it at the time, but I've been really wanting to read it because I think my mindset's changed. I think I would enjoy it more this go around, but also it's coming out as a movie. It's called, they changed the title for whatever reason. It's coming out for M. Night Shyamalan, and I think actually he'll do a really good job with it. I'm really excited for that film coming out, I think in January, February. So I do want to reread it. So just one I think I'll just have a lot of fun with, naturally fits in December. Keeping that idea going, there are a couple of books that I think will be fun, but also sort of other reasons why I'm reading it. First up, I'll say Square Cubed. I'm going to be rereading this one. I think I read this the same time last year, maybe January. It is from Mira Grant, aka Sean McGuire. I think it is, or at least last year was her newest horror sci-fi book. Basically, it's about this rift or rifts in space-time and these monsters, these sort of, I don't want to say fourth dimension, but these monsters from this other sect of reality or this other reality entirely comes in, and when they come they wreak disaster, but they also sort of alter the physics of the regions in which they enter. And what unfolds is this just a series of events that is both chaotic but also really fun and exciting, and I just really liked it. I read it physically, now it's coming out on audio, hence the want to reread it. So I also think it will make it easier for me to reach my goal since it's a novella. So I should say a lot of these are novellas, but again, I didn't choose them because they're novellas. I just thankfully some of them are. Makes it more practical to get through them all. Another one that is also a novella is A Christmas Carol. I reread this one every year, sometimes multiple times. This year, I'm specifically going to be listening to an audio that I haven't listened to. I think it's by Flo Gibson. She is a narrator. I think it was popular in the 80s, so the audio quality is not the best, but I really like her narration of classic works, and I want to give this one a go. I've listened to a lot of narrations of A Christmas Carol. Usually that's what I try to go for, is just a new narration I haven't heard before, but there are some really good ones. My favorite one of my favorites is probably Patrick Stewart. Problem is, his is abridged for whatever fucking reason, so that was like, as much as I like listening to it, it's hard to justify spending an hour and a half on a book that's been abridged. It feels so wrong. Now, transitioning into books that I do want to read, I think will be fun, but books that I've basically had on my TBR before, but keep pushing off. The first one here is going to be Winter Counts, which is a mystery thriller that I've had on my TBR since October. Didn't get to it last month. I did get through several Indigenous works, which I'm excited to talk about for my November wrap-up for the Go to Readathon. But this is one I still want to get to, so naturally, it only makes sense that I should continue carrying it over until I get to it. Because I have more time, because I'm really ambitious, or really pushing to meet my 100-book goal, I think there's a really good chance I'll get to this month, finally. Another one is Tender as the Flesh, another one that I've had on my TBR in the past, but keep pushing off. I have actually started this, and it's really disturbing. I can't wait to talk about it, but at the same time, I'm a little scared to talk about it. As a vegan, like I can have some pretentious, pompous air to it in my discussion. Cannibalism that we're talking about here, that's the basic premise of the book. It's about cannibalism. I just keep thinking about how hard it's going to be to talk about cannibalism and how it compares to how much of a meat-centered society we are. Another one that's been on my TBR in the past, Occultation of the Stories. This is a set of, I believe, Lovecraftian stories that I had hoped to get to in October, and I decidedly did not. But I decided I'm going to carry it over. Part of the reason I'm doing this is because I had audiobooks downloaded on my phone from October that I haven't gotten to, and this and Tender as the Flesh were one of them. So I figured, why not get to them, right? But let's keep going. There was one other book that hasn't been on my TBR. In my November TBR, I did put Cycles of Time by Roger Penrose. This is one that I just really wanted to read, and I am finally getting to it this month. I actually already finished it, so I don't want to spoil what I thought. That's not true. I haven't finished it, but I wish I have. It's very esoteric, and it's not quite as engaging as I was hoping. But either way, I'm going to finish it because I've made so much progress in it. And I was really psyched to read it. This is becoming a wrap-up because I'm doing it in the middle of the month. But let's keep going. Although with that, let's actually transition to other science books that are actually NetGalley arcs that I want to read. Biggest Ideas in the Universe, another one that's been on my TBR in the past that I haven't gotten to. I won't say I'm the most excited for this because there were just other books by this author and other popular science books like Cycles of Time that I'm more interested in reading. But nevertheless, it's an arc, and I do want to read it, so I just need to get to it. I think it'll be easy enough for you. My problem with this one is that it's intended as an intro to certain basic ideas, and while I think it'll be interesting, I don't know if it'll be anything too new for me, which is why it's not quite as exciting as I thought it would be when I first requested it on NetGalley. And the next one is called How Far the Light Reaches, which is a book about deepest reaches of the ocean. It's nonfiction, and this comes out I think just yesterday, December 6th. It's intriguing. I kind of requesting it at first just because I have so many science books I want to read, and the ocean, while interesting, isn't necessarily my highest interest. The reason I decided to add it here because I realized the author is actually queer, and I know that has no bearing on the quality of the work. I want to support other queer scientists. It's as simple as that, and I'm not ashamed of that, so I put it on my TBR. Another arc that I wasn't sure if I wanted to add, but Self-Portrait with Nothing. This one, I think I requested it because it said it was sci-fi fantasy, and the cover was just really appealing, and that's what it was, an impulse request. But I got requested it, and I haven't read it yet. I think it came out in October. But when I read the synopsis, or reread the synopsis, it got me re-intrigued. I'm actually really excited to read this one. This is about, let me just look up. Orphan Black meets Fringe. No, it's not what I want to hear. I don't want to hear a bunch of references to other stuff. Abandoned as an infant on the local veterinarian porch, Pepper was raised by two loving mothers, and now at 36 is married to a stable, supportive Ike. She never told anyone that at 15 she discovered the identity of her biological mother. That's because her mother is Ola Frost, a reclusive painter famous for the outrageous claims that her portraits summon subjects, doppelgangers, from parallel universes. And I'm going to stop reading right there. Parallel universes and doppelgangers. My biggest hope here is that this isn't just a hoax in the story. I really want it to be what it is hinting at. I really want it to be the real thing, and I'm actually really excited by that premise. It just seems really intriguing. That's one that I'm actually probably the arc that I'm most excited to read this month. Okay, and with all that said, the last two books are probably honestly the biggest hurdle to getting my 14 read, and that's because they're physical books that I haven't finished. Orm Shadow, a book that I read like the first chapter of back in, I don't know, the middle of the summer or something. And I do want to read this. It's like dark fantasy, Ursula K. Le Guin-esque story with dragons or something. I'm not entirely sure, but I do want to read it. It's just not on audio, so it takes more attention. But like I said, I have a couple weeks of no work, and while I do actually have ambitious video goals that hopefully will become apparent later on, I think I'll have more time just to sit down with myself and push through this book. Same idea. I've started Sandman Volume 1, and I want to finish it just because I want to finish it. I hate just having it sit there because it is intriguing, but I feel it's one of those things where I can start and never finish despite my genuine interest in it, just because I don't read a lot of comics. But it is really, I really like what I've seen so far. So I want to push through and finish that. It's like the volume is pretty long. I think I may have read a fourth. But obviously this one won't be quite as hard as Orm Shadow because it's easier to get engulfed in it, I think, than an actual novel. That's my interpretation as an audiobook reader, a primary audiobook reader, it is. It's not a judgment by any stretch of the imagination. So those are the 14 books that I am aiming to read this month. As you will see when I get to my November wrap-up rather. A couple books sort of bleed it over, but it's fine. I'm still counting them for November. I'm excited, not just because my reading is picking up again, but also I really want to reach my goal. It would feel so good because I didn't think I was going to reach it for the longest time, and I see the possibility, if not the reality. And overall, these are all really intriguing books that I'm excited to get to. Let me know your thoughts on them. I know some of them are really popular, others are more obscure. So let me know your thoughts on any of them, honestly. But as always, have a great day, and I will see you all next time on Josh's Bookish Voyage.